Hello, hello, hello. Good night. Bonsoir tout le monde. Tout Jean Saint-Lucie. Tout Jean Pierrot, where I'm from. Good night. Babuno, Kasri, Vieux-Fort. Good evening to one and all. Welcome, welcome to Poetry and Perspective with Placide. Of course, I am your kind hostess, Cindy Placide. Okay, guys, listen. This past this past month was just an amazing month. Listen to me, and I'm telling you, um we had such I had such amazing guests, and also it was St. Lucia's independence. So it was our 44th independence anniversary, like, since we gained independence. So St. Lucia, or how they say it, happy birthday to St. Lucia. Happy Independence Day. I'm just joking. Yes, guys. So we 44 years that we've gained our independence from, the British, and that is momentous for us as a country. So we just wanna I just wanted to acknowledge that. Okay. Now, guys, for those who don't know, I'm from the island of, well, of course, I'm from the beautiful island of St. Lucia. And for those who don't know where St. Lucia is in the Caribbean. Let me show you the picture of our beautiful country. That's a map of our beautiful country, St. Lucia. It's in the Caribbean. And we have lush, beautiful vegetation. We have hospitable people. We have so many great things happening in our little island of St. Lucia. But guys, if you see me looking down, I'm trying to get Facebook on. Okay. All right. So there we go. I always have to get it on. I don't know why I cannot just do it like this, but it goes straight to friends first. But okay, so let me do this. Okay, all right, there we go. All right. So tonight, like I always start by saying that I am a poet, I am an author, I'm an advocate, I am also an entrepreneur. I am a mother of four amazing children, one including one deceased, and a beautiful daughter-in-law whom I love so much. My first son Kyle, my second son Noah, my deceased daughter Isabel, and my daughter-in-law. Beautiful family, and also I've adopted another one as well. So I have five children. I'm all the many that I have. Guys, listen, I am a people's person. I'm a very goofy and outgoing personality. I'm very down to earth, okay? And I always tell people I'm a hopeless romantic, but anyway, that's another story for another time. Listen, guys, I advocate for autism because my 2-year-old son was diagnosed with autism at the age of 2 years old. And so I advocate for God. I bring awareness to it. I advocate for mental illness because of my own struggles with mental illness after losing my mom, my daughter, and so many other family members. And I also advocate for thanatophoric dysplasia because that's what my daughter was born with. It's a rare form of dwarfism, and she passed away at the age of 2 years old. So I advocate for that. And also, in my line of work, I also advocate for domestic violence and suicide and mental illness. So I mean, there's a whole host of things that I really do partake in, and I really in the in the business of helping people, okay, and promoting like minds like myself to be able to put their work out there and to be more visible to the public. Okay, whatever little that I can do, then I'm going to do. Okay, so, and this is my way of giving back to people who have given to me, and also to my fellow St. Lucians whom I love so dearly. Okay, mwen pa konet yon étranger. How they said, I don't know a stranger, because I am into everybody, and sometimes that is a downfall for me, but that was who I am. Okay, so Poetry and Perspective with Placid, we all about positivity, about empowerment, about motivating other people, and about, letting people, have a voice. Okay. So we don't bring negativity. I don't discuss politics and religion here on this show, because I believe that it is everything has a time and place. So this is not a place for politics nor religion. I want it to be fun and exciting, and give my guests a chance to be themselves, and to just be free, and to be talking about their work and whatever they do. So without further ado, guys, I have my guest. His name is Yayah Donatien. They call him Ras Yayah. And I'm gonna bring him on screen to say hello to you guys. Hi, Yayah.
Hey,
How are
uh,
you doing today? How was your day?
my day was pretty cool, pretty cool. I ain't got much to say, but it was a very interesting day.
That is good. That is good. So tell us, Yaya, where are you from? And I know you're from St. Lucia, but where are you from in St. Lucia?
I am from Georgeville, La Panse.
La Pense, okay.
Georgeville,
Onward.
not La Panse. I'm from Georgeville. Yeah,
Georgeville,
yeah.
okay. Georgeville, okay.
Well,
So what's the
for
difference
you to
between
know,
the two?
for you to know where Georgeville at, you have to go through La Panse.
I've been to La Pense, but I'm not sure if I know about Georgeville.
Georgeville is a little. When you go up that hill there,
Mm-hmm.
there's another hill you have to go down. And there's
Okay.
a little community right there.
Oh,
It's
nice.
one way in and one way out.
I understand. I understand. Maybe when I go back to St. Lucia, maybe there's some place that I pass and I didn't know that's how they call it. But
I
I
don't think if you haven't been there, you haven't been there. There's no way you want to go if you don't know somebody going there because Georgia is a ghetto now.
Oh, it's a ghetto. Okay. But
Yeah.
I've been a lot of places in St. Lucia though, because my time working with the cable and wireless that they were cable
Ah,
before they were flow. I used to, work in the north and installing cable TV and telephone. So I've been to a lot of places. Maybe I
all
just
right.
didn't know.
You probably did go around there, but yeah,
Yes, probably.
you can't
Probably.
go in there all by yourself now.
No, I know that. Okay. So tell us a little bit about yourself. You say you're from Georgeville, in by La Panse side. What was your upbringing now? Your education and where you went to school and stuff like that. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your favorite
Well,
food.
I my first schooling started in Salvation Army.
Okay.
The Salvation Army as kindergarten. From kindergarten, I went to Anglican. From Anglican, uh, I did. I did. What's the name of that school up there? Yeah, the Lance Road School. Right now, I think it's known as Common Henry. I think that's what it's.
Yeah, I
Common
think I know what you're talking about. Carmen Henry Memorial.
something like that.
Okay,
And
okay.
then after that, I left to. I went to New York, and
Hmm.
I've been there since.
Okay.
You know,
So
I
you are a poet.
uh I wouldn't call myself a poet. I don't think I'm articulate enough to be a poet. I call myself a spoken word artist.
Uh-huh.
You is
Okay.
I speak my mind. The way poetry started for me is or the way the whole poetry vibe started was I used to be a DJ. When I say not a DJ like playing
Mm-hmm.
music, but I used to hold the mic and we used to chant, reggae music and try and sing. And and when I met my wife, she used to tell me, you're a very aggressive speaker.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Sometimes it just comes
Yes.
the
Yes.
wrong way.
Yes.
I told myself, you know what, maybe I should stop singing because I don't think I'm a singer.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have a voice to sing. And I was like, you know what, maybe I should start speaking. Start just writing my lyrics and just speak it.
Yes.
And I went to a poetry show on Broadway, poetry on Broadway in New York City, and I saw them doing this, and I was like, doing that spoken, and I was like, yeah, I could do this, and I probably
Mm-hmm.
do this better than some of them guys on stage.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's how it came about. And I started writing, and came to New York. I wrote my first poem, you know, about when you fall in love and heartbreaks. You write. Yeah,
Yes.
that's my first poem.
Wow.
you know.
I agree. So I remember, my first poem too. It was not really about heartbreak. Actually, it was about abuse. But when you sit back and you think back and you think about your love, I think everybody at one point has written something about love, about who they were with, or their love of their life, or whatever. I think so. So, do you remember anything from that poem?
Yeah, actually, I think this girl I used to go out with, and she was like, and all of a sudden she was like, she needed some time,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, needed time, we've been
Mm-hmm.
going together now. You need time, like
Uh-huh.
you don't know what love is, girl, And then I write, so my love's definition.
Uh-huh.
I put
Wow.
something like, uh, love is like the Almighty. Love is something you can see. Love is passion. Love is being friendly, considerate. Love is calm. Love is like a bird captured and set free. Love is something you can buy in or win, but a feeling that comes from deep down within. Love is like a gentle breeze moving freely through the trees. Love is like the God above, but most of all, love. That was one of my first pieces. There's more
Mm-hmm.
to it, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember it. But that was like my first piece.
Wow.
You know,
Wow. That's good.
you know.
So, what you say you wouldn't consider yourself as a poet, but a um, spoken word
Spoken word artist.
artist. Yes, the word was in my head, but it wasn't coming to my mouth.
Uh,
So, tell us how many poems have you written so far? Because I know the last time I did not know anything about you, but the moment I put that flyer on there, the amount of phone calls the amount of videos that I got, and the amount of feedback that I got. So, how many poems have you written?
uh I don't know. Maybe about 35, 40.
Oh wow, that is a man. That's a whole book right there.
Yeah, well, working on it, working on it. Working on the book.
Wow. We have another poet watching, Katrina Williams. She was on my show earlier. Good night, Katrina. Yes. So, am I saying that right? I hope I always butchering people's names. So, 40 poems. So, of all these poems that you've been, how many times have you performed your poems? Where have you performed them?
Ah,
To whom?
yeah,
Yeah.
perform. I have performed nearly everywhere. I think I have performed in bars.
Mm-hmm.
I have been to. I went to New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
From in New Orleans, I have been to Jersey performing. I've been to bars in New York City. Been to
Mm-hmm.
the Norican Cafe, the Inkwell.
Mm-hmm.
Where else again? The St. Lucia House
Mm-hmm.
at the St. Lucian Consulate. Where else I've been? I've been on St. Lucia Jazz. Opening show, you
Mm-hmm.
on one of those shows there. I've been a few places in St. Lucia performing. You
Mm-hmm.
so I've been around. I've been around.
Yeah.
Went to Guatemala. I did a poem in Guatemala while I was down there. You know,
Wonderful.
I went to Namibia. So I've been around.
Wow, that's amazing. So, since you've been so many places, gracing everybody with your poems, why don't you grace us with one of your poems?
So, uh, so what kind of poem you want to hear? Cause,
It,
uh,
whichever one of your choosing.
all right, let me see. Since it's Black History Month, I'll do something a little,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Our body lies beneath the ocean. Our bodies will hang from trees. Our bodies now riddled with bullets. Bring back my body to me. For 250 years, we were born into chains. So how can I ever forget? Taken from Africa, separated families' lives in a mess, raped our women and lynched our men, took our daughters and sold our sons, introduced their religion and stole our land. Oh, yes, I will never forget. They stole our diamonds and stole our gold, implement a society to keep us under control, destroy our culture, our history forgot. But the truth will reveal our losses, our struggles, and all of the pain. We can't forgive, but we should never forget. Beaten, bamboozled, shackled. We must educate our youth from which they came so our African heritage will be sustained and the ancestors did not die in vain. You see, in 1863, the Emancipation Proclamation declared that all men should be free. Yet to this day, we are still fighting for equality. We're still fighting for equality. Racial profiling is rampant. Police brutality, our number one discussion. Years of past, our leaders fought for civil rights. Now, human rights is the fight. From plantation to penitentiary, because nothing has changed, but only the name. The situation is still the same. The psychological change still lock our brain because the invisible scars so deeply ingrained. So how can I ever forget? But we've come a long way, still more to learn. Stronger people, we have grown, we've held our own. The mountain is steep, yet still climbing. Down a few times, but we keep on rising. Rise to your destiny and your well-being. Rise like the African sun in the morning. Rise and celebrate yourself. Rise and celebrate your history, not just in February, March, April, May, June to January. Rise and celebrate your blackness. Rise to the oppressors. Because to achieve, we must rise as one. And to proceed, we must believe. Believe, proceed, achieve. But never forget, never forget your African story.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
So that was one of them.
As you were as you were reciting this poem, I could visualize everything that you were saying in my head, as if I was there in whatever you were reciting. I put myself in that place
Mm,
as a slave.
mm.
And we have as a black people have gone through the worst things that you could think of a race could go through.
Yes, yeah, we are one of the. We are not just one. We are the one of the only race that has been suffering for so long. You know, we have been down for so long. I mean, I was just watching something on television there, and one of the guys was saying that you know uh, African Americans have been, or America, Africans have been slave for, from the time America came into existence. You know, they had the Indians, the American Indians, but then
Hmm.
they killed them.
Hmm.
A lot of them were killed, but we've
Yes.
been slave. We as black people have been slave from the time we stepped to this country, from the
Yes.
time they took us from our country without, you know, without our will. They took us and brought us there, and we're still slaving. We're still fighting this fight.
Absolutely. And it comes in so many different forms. The
Yeah.
fight is in so many different ways. Even those subtle ways we will not even think about, the fight is there.
Yep. We still, we're still struggling.
Wow. So do you, like, before you write a poem of that caliber, because this is really deep. It speaks to what we've been through as a race, as a people. Do you do your research before you write a poem?
Well, sometimes yes, you do have to research. If you
Hmm.
don't know what you're writing,
Hmm.
sometimes the a vibe comes to you, or inspiration, or you get motivated by something somebody say, and then
Hmm.
you the way I write is like, I would hear something, and I would write down a few lines now. uh, Maybe get up in the morning when everybody's asleep, and start writing, read a book, you know,
Mm-hmm.
just get your vibes on that, and start writing.
Mm-hmm.
But you do have to do research if you when you're writing a piece like this. You do have to
Yes.
go and do research. Sometimes when you're writing about love, you do have to research too, because you research within yourself.
Yes.
You research what you have been through, and you try to you know emulate what other people or a friend went through. you know
Mm-hmm.
so it's all about researching. You have to research one way or the other.
Yes.
Go to a book, or you look deep down within.
Yes. And um, a few years back, like about 2 years or 3 years ago, I was approached and I was asked to write a poem, and it was going to be about the Caribbean. And I told, I had no idea what I was going to write about. And I had to go and do my research, okay? Because I wanted to include the entire Caribbean in my poem. So I
Mm,
had to go online and did my research. And I came up with the poem. Usually it would take me like about, I would say, 5 minutes to just write a poem and finish it, because I write, once as a poet, once that lyric is there and that vibe comes, you have to write it down. It
right.
has to get done on that paper so you'll be able to say. And I don't take too long for me to write a poem, but that poem took me like about 2 weeks to write.
Yeah.
And when I did perform it, it was really a good poem. After I went back and I listened to the performance, I'm like, oh, that's a really good poem. So we have to search within ourselves to get that. How do they call it? It's not it's almost like, oh my gosh, the word is not coming to my mouth. I know what is in my head, but you get that feeling, like when you get that, you say a vibe, but there's another word I want to use. It comes to you, and you have to let it out. It's almost like you're giving birth, and you have to
Of
give out
course. That's
give
it.
out that baby.
The
Yes.
right word. Birth.
Yes.
You're giving birth.
Yes.
That's it.
And so, it is important because poets are we write from originality. You understand? We write. When you write a book, a poem, it is something that you feel. It is something that is inside of you. It is something that you want to bring out a message, but it's not like you're writing it. Well, the cat, the man killed, the woman. You have to make it deep for that your readers, so that your readers and your listeners could look deep into what you wrote and put themselves in the place. If I'm making sense, that makes sense to you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the whole idea about
Yeah.
writing. You feel a vibe, and you just like you say, it's because I remember writing a piece, and I had a friend of mine read it, and he was like, "Yeah, you could do this, you could do that," and I was like, "Yo, you're not telling me how to write. You go and write your own poem."
Mm-hmm.
You start telling me, it's like you have a baby, you just had a baby, and you're telling me, I should do this to my baby and do this. No, make your own baby and do your own thing with your baby.
Yes.
I I'm not saying I can't take a little criticism or try to make it better, but don't tell me I should change this and should. No, that's my
Exactly, exactly, exactly.
I do
So
my
let me
I want to do it.
let me tell you, we have our guests on. So I usually like to give a shout out to our guests. So Sancha Natram David is watching. Good night. Levan Johnny, she's a poet as well. She's watching. So good night. Rosamond Claire is watching. Good night. And Levan said, we have to take ownership of and rewrite our own narrative, and that is so true. And Rosamond said your poem was awesome. He loved it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. So, it is important that we give birth to that baby. And every poet writes differently, because
Yes.
we are not from the same boat. We are not from the same, we don't have the same backgrounds. We don't have the same
The same
experience.
thought,
Exactly.
Yeah, because it's just it's I have a crew of poets I hang with,
Hmm.
and we all do things differently. One guy is an American guy. There's two Jamaicans. There's an Antiguan. There's a Bajan. There's a Guyanese.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an American. There's two. And we all do things differently.
Mm-hmm.
Because I
Yes.
went reading on Friday, and this Bajan girl, I like the way she write, but she write very sexual, and and there's something about her writing. She just, you know, it's sexual, but it's so subtle, you know. And I tell her every time she reads, she writes. Every time I hear a poem, she gets me hot, and
Ah!
you know, because the way we start talking all that, you know, her Milky Way, and and Comet, and and like, you know, just just navigating the gardens, and it's like, and I was like, wow,
That's some hot stuff right there.
yeah, and when I come on, I do something. I have this sort of Jamaican guy. He comes on and he come with pure fire, and
Mm-hmm.
burning down Babylon and Rome and the whole
Mm-hmm.
system. And then I come and inspire, and I write something like, I love myself. Yes, I love myself.
Mm-hmm.
Conceited, some say vain, egotistic, self-centered, cocky I might add, but I don't give a shit because I love myself. You
Mm-hmm.
see, I was born by myself and will die by myself.
Mm-hmm.
So tell all the haters go screw themselves.
Okay,
When
don't
I
say
look
too
at
much. Don't say too much bad words before Facebook cut us.
that ain't no bad word.
Facebook, excuse me, okay? The
Yeah,
last time, listen, the last time they cut me off, I think somebody said something on my show, and for a whole for a whole
yeah.
month, I
No,
could
no,
not
no.
post.
I don't think they go censor you for that. You know.
Oh my goodness, but that was really good.
Yeah, well, that's one of my signature pieces too. Wherever I go, this piece, I think a lot of people relate to it because it tells you about yourself, self love.
Mm-hmm.
Before you love anybody else, you have to love yourself. So,
Mm-hmm.
so this piece, I do it anywhere, and people relate to it.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing. I would love for me to perform with you one of these days and with this fire from Barbados.
But
Listen,
invite me to Atlanta, and get a spot
okay,
in
we
Atlanta.
go do it
I
then.
I have a friend in Atlanta too. I have a
Yeah.
poet friend in Atlanta. Actually, I think he should be in New York today because we have to go to
Okay.
the studio tomorrow. But he just
Okay.
moved to Atlanta maybe last year,
Uh-huh.
maybe September last year. I think he moved. You
Yeah.
know,
I would like
but
to connect.
we're trying to organize something where he invite us to Atlanta, get a spot
Mm-hmm.
where we could, because like I tell you, I have a crew I hang with, and we
Mm-hmm.
go out and perform. We have our net where
Mm-hmm.
I just came from St. Lucia actually. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I did
Wow,
a track
amazing.
for a cousin of mine who's in a wheelchair,
Mm-hmm.
and trying to get some funds to come to the US for therapy and you
Mm-hmm.
know and medical.
Mm-hmm.
So
And and that's one of the things I have in mind to do as well. There's so many of us, have we one of your poems, and I'm gonna ask you to recite it. You just wrote that poem and I really loved it. But we have a lot of poets in St. Lucia.
yes,
We have a
yes.
lot of good work from St. Lucia. A lot.
I must let me just big up a few of them.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
Naomi
Hmm.
Ngozi, Glenn Shalry, and Kruma, Valamir, Lucian and Kruma
Hmm.
Lucian. Who else again? Kendall Hippolyte. Those are
Hmm.
well-known poets. Who else?
Hmm.
And Ken Hardy. He's
Hmm.
a musician also. So oh, my brethren, Russ Isley. I'm forgetting it. I
Hmm.
forget him. My boy. So they have a crew of good poets that I know of. I
Hmm.
met a young lady in St. Lucia while I was down there. I don't know her name, but I heard she read a piece, and
Hmm.
she's really, really impressive. And I didn't get a chance to listen to her, but I heard it over the airwaves, and she was really impressive, man. I really liked it, and maybe the next time I go to St. Lucia.
Now I have had a few of them up here on my show from St. Lucia, a few poets on my show from St. Lucia, and then they do some really amazing work. You know, like I was telling you about Levon Johnny, who's watching. She is a really good poet, and that's how I got her on my show, because I look for St. Lucian talent. I look for the
Mm.
St. Lucian talent to bring them on the show, and to set up. There's another lady called Liz Phillip, and she's an amazing poet. She's from Monrepo. And there's this other lady, what's her name? Alces
As I think I know that she's from Babono.
Alces Ismail. That's her name, I think. Oh my gosh, my hair's going in my face, in my eyes. Alces Ismail, yes. Amazing poet. There's so many good poets that has come on this show. It's amazing, and there's some young rising ones. I'm telling you, we don't have no Nobel laureates for nothing.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. So you
It's
wrote this
blood,
poem.
man. It's in
You
our
wrote
blood.
this. Yeah, you wrote this poem called for independence, okay? And
Yeah.
before I let you read the entire poem, I'm going to show a clip of you reading your poem. Okay, give me a second. Okay, let me put something on there. I'm gonna put a clip on there. Give me 1 second, please. Uh, where's the screen? It's not gonna allow me to. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm still learning this thing right here. Okay, okay. I think I got it. That's it.
Mm.
And the seabirds. Thank you. You see, under golden sun and blue skies, a volcanic isle arise. 238 square miles of beauty she possesses. Located 40 degrees north and 60 degrees west from the equator, and was first named Ionola. Between the ocean and the sea, Beltipei Nukuye set the sea. For upon this isle I came alive, a naval string reside. A land where Nobel laureates reign, for Helen they proclaim. Majestic pitons, sulfur springs, vegetation lush, mountain green, and beauty so serene.
I was,
Yes, tell us about that.
yeah. This was for the flag raising ceremony. Down in Bowling Green. Uh, the mayor of
Uh-huh.
New York was there. Dignitaries from Jamaica, St.
Mm-hmm.
Vincent. From the consulate general. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and Jeremiah Harrison, who invited me to do this, and I'm thankful for that. Because I think it just blow up. Now people who didn't know me know me.
Yes, because I was telling, the St. Lucia, the president for the St. Lucia Association of Georgia in Georgia. So I was telling him I'm going to bring this person. So when he saw that, he said, "But he's come to Atlanta. I think he's performed for us already." I'm going like, "Really? What did you tell me about him?" I don't know if you know him. His name is Cornelius.
No, actually, I didn't go to Atlanta, but I
Uh-huh.
did a piece. And I sent it to from I don't know, this guy, this calypso singer Gozile. He asked
Yes,
me to do a
yes,
piece so they could send it so they could play it. But them guys have to come and hear me or bring me to Atlanta so they could hear me in person. It's
yes. So listen,
uh, uh, you know,
so Cornelius Alfred, president of the St. Lucia Association of Georgia, and Marjorie Douglas. If you are listening, I'm
yeah.
calling out your names now.
You gotta
You all
bring
need
it
to
out
bring
there,
Yayah.
so the St. Lucian diaspora could hear me. The St.
Yeah, the
Lucian
St.
people,
Lucia diaspora. We all
you
got
know,
to get us poets together.
so we could do something, I mean,
Yes.
you know,
Listen,
and
I'm
who goes
putting
in
it
with
out
us,
there.
you know. Gozile and I perform at we did a thing at the Brooklyn Bowl. Nah, he was there, but he didn't perform because he got delayed. But I have performed with Taj Weeks,
Mm-hmm.
one of St. Lucia international reggae artists. A few times. And I've done a few things. I've performed with Juggy Papa Juggy, a
Mm-hmm.
reggae artist from St. Lucia living in
Mm-hmm.
California. So I've been around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Wow.
about to go to Jamaica actually. Eh,
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm going to perform at this show. This poem. I don't know if you ever heard of Mutabaruka. You
Don't think
know,
of it.
well, you got to look up Mutabaruka, man, from
I'm
Jamaica.
gonna write the name.
You know, So he's one of the. He has this poem. This poem. That's the name of the poem. One of his favorite
Mhm.
people. But them guys are elders in the craft.
Yes. And
Yeah.
I am looking for poets from all over the Caribbean, black poets. You understand? It doesn't matter whether they're from the Caribbean or America, wherever they're from, as long as they are poets. I want to have a community of poets always come on my show and to show their work because I think the our craft is so beautiful and unique. It is beautiful.
But as a poet, I think you should have heard of Mutabaruka, man. Mutabaruka is
Probably,
like a
listen,
world, a worldwide
probably I
poet.
have.
He's a Rasta man, kind of. He kind of down to earth, like he go on stage barefooted and all that. You
Probably
know,
I have, I'm not sure because I look up poets all the time.
Even Linton Kwesi Johnson from Jamaica.
I've
He
heard of Linton.
So yeah, all those guys are like brethrens.
Mm.
The two of the greats from Jamaica.
Wow.
You know.
Oh, wow, wow.
He's actually one of his students is doing a show, and that's how I got in. They invite me to come down, so I'll be down there the 27th of April. I'm going there
Mhm,
for like 5 days. Get on stage and do my thing, big up Saint Lucian.
mhm.
You know.
Wow, that is amazing. So, yeah, Levon said yes, Muta Baraka. She knows about him. Yes. So, tell me, why don't you go ahead and just that piece we the piece we I showed you the video. Could you do it for us, please, so we could have a
You
full.
know, I would really like to do this piece, but I want you to, before I burst the bubble, I want you to know it's not going to be the same way how I did it.
Oh, that's
Because
fine. That's
I'm
fine.
not in that element.
Yes, I understand.
So I'm
I
just going.
understand. I understand.
Yeah. Under golden sun and blue skies, a volcanic isle arise. 238 square miles of beauty she possess. Located 14 degrees north and 60 degrees west from the equator, and was first named Ionola. Between the ocean and the sea, Beltipeinu Kiesat sea. For upon this isle I came alive, a naval string reside. A land where Nobel laureates reign, fair Helen they proclaim. Majestic Piton sulfur springs, vegetation lush, mountains green, beauty so serene. When sunlight fades, shadows beam, Luna illuminates the light. My optic gives stare to the sky, as shooting stars in flight. Like songs composed, sweet music echoes, creatures of the night. Raindrops falls on tin roof, your eardrums to the beat. Mamas singing babies' lullabies as they lay their heads to sleep. Darkness fades, daylight rise from sleep. Birds chirping, roosters crowing, welcomes morning, the sun begins to stare. This beautiful isle of sunshine glare, place salam me kai toujours aimé. Même si me wete l'Amérique l'Angleterre, me kai toujours resté cet lycien. Pas kai jamais oublié, place salam me quitter, pour un jour me kai viwe. Bel ti pays cet lycée, me fête avec sortie, will always be dear to me. For upon this rock I came alive and will defend it with my life. Wherever I go, I will let it be known. St. Lucia, born and grown. I will let it be known wherever I roam. This land is home, sweet home. Bless.
Oh my goodness. That is beautiful. You know, it's one thing to read the poem, but it's another thing for you to actually hear it being recited.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Levon Johnny said, "Oh my God, the imagery in this place is so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. You could actually, you literally, Levon, am I not right? Literally, he painting a picture of Saint Lucia, what we will, our island for us, you know, in those words. This is beautiful. So, did you write that just basically for independence, or did you have it before?
Actually, I had this poem. I wrote this poem a while ago for National Day, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I was telling a friend I never did it, but he told me yes, you did it, but I don't think I did it. It wasn't finished yet. But
Mm-hmm.
I think right now it's done. I review it. I
Yeah.
revisited it and do it. And until when it's now it flows. It's the way it's supposed to be, and I
Mm-hmm.
was never expecting that from I just find I tell you, I get so much calls yesterday and so many texts and like that people that didn't know me, like my friends that know I write poems, that never really supported me, they see it and it's like, yo, I know you write poems, but I know you were so good.
Yes.
Gotta start and support, because I doing things out there,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody just want to know you do things, but they never come and support, and like,
True.
so that's
True.
why sometimes you try to stay away from solutions to do your
Mm-hmm.
thing. And then you see like Derek Walker had to go to he had to go to Trinidad and then come back. That's when
Mm-hmm.
they,
To be recognized.
but
Mm-hmm.
I still go around St. Lucians and do my, because I do a lot of things for the St. Lucian, this for the
Yes,
St.
for mm-hmm.
Lucian, I always want something done. There's a little event going on, they would ask me to do come in and do something. But this
Mm-hmm.
time they called me up. But I wrote something especially for the 40th anniversary. I was asked to write something and
Mm-hmm.
did that piece. Uh, Give me back the identity.
Mm-hmm.
I did that for the 40th anniversary. So I'm going to do it, give me back the identity, our language, our history, our Santan Island topography. Abused and battered, still she strive. France and Britain she survive. With the heavy hands of authority, they sullied her with slavery. 14 times they battled, 7 to British, 7 to France. But they could not take her beauty, so they tried to hold her captive, but with courage she took flight. Now she stands alone, never again bowed to the throne. 40 years strong on her own, 40 years she's grown, 40 years of creativity, 40 years rebirthing beauty. So let's give Lucia a hand. Together we must stand like Darren, Taj, Laverne, be the diamond of our land. For this land is our home and never should disown. With two Nobel laureates she elevate, the jewel of the West where ancestor souls they rest. Lay their heads on mountain peak, bodies buried ocean deep. This land is paradise, the voices speak. Black sand beaches, volcanic springs, crystal waters running through her streams. Helen of the West she's called, nourished with a diamond waterfall. People travel from miles and miles away to indulge in this volcanic isle. A golden sunset and ocean breeze, her sons and daughters live with ease. So never let her lose her way. We all have our part to play. St. Lucia, our jewel of the West, when tired and weary, nowhere else I'll rest. It's my island. You know,
Yes,
I have
yes,
many
yes,
poems. I think I wrote like about 5 or 6 poems about Saint Lucia. I think I done
yes.
writing poems about Saint Lucia now.
And
You know.
that's the thing. We that's where we know. That's where we know, and we are, we love our country. Wherever we go, you're right, we love our country. So we will naturally, we got to write about our country.
Yeah, you're right.
We are,
I,
because like you said in the poem,
I think
you will
I think the
you will
thoughts
check
run
the
out.
status and look. Go ahead.
I see. I think my thoughts run out on Saint Lucia. I think I'm nothing to say about Saint Lucia again.
Man, you go lay your head down tonight, and tomorrow you go come up with something new,
But you
okay?
know what? I write a lot about the good part of Saint Lucia. I have a few. I'm going to start writing the bad part about Saint Lucia.
Okay.
Like the
The
things that I
every
don't like.
exactly. Every country has its good and bad in it, you know.
Yeah.
So every country has its good and bad in it. Listen, like you say, you can take us out of St. Lucia, we can go anywhere, but you cannot take St. Lucia out of us because that's where our heart is, you know.
Yes.
So, um, I always ask people about this thing. So, what is your favorite St. Lucian dish, or what is your favorite food?
My
Maybe
favorite,
I
well, I
am.
love saltfish.
Ha!
I love
So you see,
I love fish. I doesn't eat no meat, so I eat a lot of fish and but saltfish, saltfish is one of my favorites, you
yes.
know. And
So
I
you
like
see,
snapper. I like red snapper, you know.
I have another saltfish eating body. So when I come and find you, we go kill saltfish and breadfruit. Me, I love breadfruit too,
Yeah,
and
so
saltfish and green figs.
green fig, yeah, I like green fig and saltfish. I like saltfish with anything, man.
Anything, yes, yes.
You know. I wrote a song about saltfish.
Are
You
you serious?
know?
Listen, let me tell you this. You started when you started the show. You said that you were into a band, you were singing and everything, and then you said you changed it from singing to poetry. I
Mm.
think it's something to that effect. You
Yeah.
have a very nice singing voice, so you can sing.
No, I don't think that. I don't think
Yes.
the stage, you know.
Listen,
Tell
I
me.
cannot sing for nothing. I used to I wrote songs. I wrote my own songs, and there was a song I wrote along with this guy Super P from Trinidad.
Mm.
Let me produce that song. It's a very good song. But listen, I would have to find me another job because I'll make money. That's all. In that profession because I can sing for nothing. Okay, and you see, like your Bajan friend. I used to write sexually explicit songs. I had to stop because everything that I wrote was sexual. So I'm gonna when I sing the no.
Just do you. You do you, man. You know. You. That's it. That's what my friend told me. At one time I was a real shy. Well, I wasn't shy, but you know, doing like interviews, I don't like to do things like that. And then she was telling me, yeah, just be yourself.
Yes,
Don't
yes,
nobody. Just do you.
true.
So once I get that,
Hmm.
it's like, all right, everything is easy.
Listen, when I
It's like, you're not trying to be nobody else. So
true, 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 because I'm
what,
telling you, yeah, it is in us. You know, we have to be ourselves when we on this stage. We have to be ourselves when we performing. You understand?
yep.
And sometimes, it brings out so much in us. We don't even realize. We go like, who's that person?
Yeah.
Yeah, but let me say good night to a few more people who came on. Jermaine Maxime is watching. Good night. Rachel Lipson, how you doing? She's watching. And good night. Yeah, so I tell you, I used to be the song I was singing was, and I used to be doing all kind of stuff and touching the private parts and trying to bring out the song. I said, Cindy Plastic,
Uh,
you
so
cannot
man,
do that.
do you? Don't let nobody tell you,
It
man.
was crazy.
Do you? Do you?
Yeah, but when we get into our element as writers, as poets, it's a beautiful thing to see because somebody you will see that's really quiet, and you may think that that person don't have that kind of thing in them. When you hear them perform, you would wonder, that person I spoke to a while ago and that person who performed the poem is too different because it brings out something in us. It brings out that
Yeah.
the emotions that we feel when we when
Yeah.
we when we recite our poems,
That's
we know
that's
where it came from.
that's one thing about me. When I on stage, I do a lot of when my poem. I have to be emotional because I'm attached to whatever I do. I don't write. I write what I feel. You know. So
Yes,
if I don't feel it, I'm not writing it.
true,
You know.
true. I think I wrote a poem about when they had all the killings and they had killed a few people, few black George Floyd and all of these people, and I could not go protest and these things, but I wrote the poem because that was a form of way of bringing my message out. And when I finally performed that poem for the first time, I cried because it was so deep for me. You understand?
Mm.
What I felt was so real at the time, as if I saw myself in what was happening, and so it was really, really emotional for me. So that is true. That is really, really true. So yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I'm gonna ask you this, eh? We
Was
want
that?
to. You already have 40 poems. That is a whole book. That is at least 2 books now. So we're looking for that book. So we
Yeah,
need to do.
I working on it. I working on it. Like I tell you, you see, when I do something, I want to do it right.
Yes, yes.
So when it's coming out, it's been years I say, and it's coming out, and it hasn't. It's just putting everything together on, and going over it all, and
Hmm.
feeling it, because like I tell you, every poem I write, I feel it.
Yes.
And if I don't feel it, it's right yet. I am not, you see, like, it's a baby.
Hmm.
When you gotta take like 9 months for the baby to conceive. you know it takes me a while for me to really feel, when I read it over, and I'm like, yeah, all right, it's good now. I don't have to touch it again. And still, when
Hmm.
I go after it, I like, a friend had to tell me, listen, man, sometimes less is more. Sometimes I want to write more, and like, nah, less is more. You don't have to do this. Just drop whatever you think and drop it. And just do what stay with what you have.
But let me tell you this. You know when to stop as a poet. You know when to stop, right where to stop when you're writing that poem. Because then you wouldn't have anything else that will come out of you, that will come out of that head. Because when I'm writing poems, I wrote a poem, and some of my poems are like, I write it in stands. It's like about 13 paragraphs. I'm going like, wait a minute, I'm going to stop at, but then I know when to stop. I know when to stop for my poems. And I have 2 books of poems out now. That's why I'm encouraging you to write your book.
You
I
have
have
two
to.
books out, you said?
Yes, actually, I didn't talk about it in the beginning of the show, but this is my first book. It's entitled "One Life Stood in Silence," and that book was basically a saving grace for me, because I was going through so much, and I was bottling my emotions after I lost my daughter. I don't know if you heard I mentioned that
Yeah,
I had a
yes.
daughter pass away. Well, I was bottling all of my emotions, and I was self-destructing. I was suicidal. I was going through mental illness. I was thinking of. My mind was not right. You understand? I was not the person that you see here today, and then I literally had to. I've been writing for a long time, since I was 8 years old, but this was really the first time that I really decided, okay, let me put my really thoughts on, and put it out there for people to know what I'm going through, what I've been through. And that was a form of really therapy and wake up call for me to know that, I can use my experiences to help other people,
Right.
so it's about love, loss, anxieties, all the things that I face, and
Mm.
it has a little, anybody can relate to this book. Anybody can relate to this book. And this is my second book, so now it's a mighty calm, and it's almost like an uprising from whatever that I was facing. So now I found my purpose, I found myself. All the while that I was silent, I couldn't say anything, but I rose from it, and now I have a mighty calm. It's positive. It talks about love. It talks about romance. It talks about if you have a career, you are procrastinating. It encourages and empowers people to be the best in whatever they're going to be. So that's my second book. And of course, I will have another one coming up pretty soon.
Good for you.
Yes. I have not really gotten a chance to perform my poems out there as I really want to. But
You have to create the platform.
yes, I know. I know.
Because that's what I did. I mean, a friend of mine heard me and he invited me. But nowadays, if I can do, like I told you, I just came from St. Lucia and I brought like
Yes.
7 poets with me from out there.
Yes.
Went down there and we killed it. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that's what you have to do. And as soon as I do that, I just get so many other calls, people asking me to come there and do this. And,
Mm-hmm.
the year has started. So a friend of mine just told me, like, he called me and he was like, yo, I know you write poems, but I didn't know you was, but this is your blessing, because I went down to St. Lucia to do something to help somebody. And then, now I'm just getting the blessings back. He tell me, like,
Mm-hmm.
I get that
Yes.
call to go to Jamaica. You, I get the call to well, I know the St. Lucian, they probably, I wouldn't take it for granted, but I get a
Mm-hmm.
call from the St. Lucia, St. Lucian consulate to come and do this piece. And
Mm-hmm.
and there's other things in the works. Now, tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
going to the studio, and some poets, we just going and chill.
Mm-hmm.
If we could just come up with something, no stress,
Mm-hmm.
just go in the
Yes.
studio, and just relax, and whatever we come out with, we come out. If we decide to, you know, have something, just whatever comes out, comes out.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if Kay is still like Katrina Williams. If you're still on, we gotta put something together so the poets in Georgia can invite the poets from New York and everywhere. People like Yayah and Levon and who are Liz and all
Uh,
these other people.
Mas- Maslina, what's it?
Yes, we can invite all of these other people and we can.
Domina Maslin, one of my friends, she's a professor at Medgar Evers,
Mm,
and she's a damn good poet too,
wow,
you know.
wow. I would love to have her on the show. Love
Yeah,
to.
I'll mention it to her. I'll mention.
Yes. Oh my God, this is amazing. It's been, yes, Levon said, yes, let's make it happen. We have to make it happen. Yes, we do. So,
Yeah, as the association, the president of the association, to get me in Atlanta, so we could do it,
yes,
you know.
I will. I've already mentioned his name, so he cannot escape.
You know?
Wow, so that's amazing. So yeah, yeah. How have you balanced work and being a poet?
Well, work first,
Mm,
poetry and paying the bills.
mm-hmm.
So
That's
work
true.
is everything now, until when poetry decide to pay the bills, then I could see, I
Mm-hmm.
could drop work, but
Mm-hmm.
work. That's another thing where I can't get the book out there yet because
Mm-hmm.
work taking all the time, you know.
True. True. That's true. Well, we gotta. I met with a few of our writers. I've spoken. I think I have a children. I had a children book writer up here. I have some other authors who don't write poem, but some write inspirational books, and others write poems. Others write children's books, and others are have their own businesses. And we were thinking about having a forum where we could have authors and writers to be able to get together so we could see if we could form something where we could help each other in that regard. So probably that would be a good thing, that
Yeah,
we connect in that way.
yeah, we could connect in that way too, I mean,
Mm.
but I personally, I like.
Till I still see her even if she's stooping down. That's okay. That's okay. My son used to be walking on behind me, so he has autism, so he'll be walking on behind me. That's okay. So, but yeah, yeah, thank you so much. I really, you think you could give us one more piece before we go? We have like about 2 minutes, eh?
What's that?
Let me ask our viewers. Viewers, y'all can see me now. We have a few people on there. Do you want Yaya to do another piece before he leaves this platform? We would love to hear him. If you like, put the likes and put the loves. Let me see if you want. If anybody wants. If you don't want, we're gonna wrap it up. But we have 2 more minutes. So let me see if we're gonna get any likes. Any likes? So Lavon said yes. So it's a go. Even if I get one, it's a go. So you want to give us one more?
Uh, yeah, let me see which one I could give you. All right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this love piece.
Oh yes, okay. Everybody
Uh,
sit back.
the way I feel when I see you, words cannot confess. You're my desire, I must express. I have a love fever running high for you. It's the truth, I can't change it. If I try, I will end up with a lie. You say it's infatuation, and I'm going for the motions, but every moment in your presence, my temperature keep rising. Because you know how I feel, and I know you feel the same. Because I can feel your love flames. Yet you keep putting up a resistance. But it's in your silence I hear the voices you don't share. Don't try to deny emotions you can't hide, for the truth is in your eyes, and your eyes are the windows to the soul. So behold, my love for you is like the sun glowing into the shadows of darkness. Believe me when I say, instead of my rib, I would give you my heart, if the Creator had only asked. So give me a chance to show you love consistent. For you are my poetry in motion, my rhythm to music, conscious, authentic. Your true beauty I want to unfold. Share secrets with you I've never told. With you I want to grow old. So please let me love you.
Wow.
That's it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Don't you all agree, guys? It's beautiful. Now, I usually I had usually when I first started the show, I was saying one of my poems before, while the guest was, and I had stopped it because I wanted to give the guests, a chance for them to, put their work out there. So I want to read one of my poems from my notebook,
Go ahead. I'm listening.
and it's called Perception. Okay. Now, this poem I wrote about, it's about basically what people think, what people go through, what goes through your mind sometimes when you in a breakup or somebody hurts you or whatever. So listen to the poem. It's called Perception. You mocked my feelings like I was a joker, said I didn't fit in your life's future. With every painful tear came an invalid reason to tear down this queen, convicting true love as treason. Baby, I won't chase after your love. It should be given freely, this gift from above. You need to recognize the value in me. I'm a rib from and complement to your body. Uh-oh, what happened? If you want to live fire for copper, then by all means, fulfill your burning desire. Though the grass on the other side is seemingly greener, be dangerous like vermins of a viper. Just know one thing, baby, your rejection won't break me into a frenzy. I'm forging ahead for better. No tap outs, I rise to my prosperity. You pain me so severely. I'm immune to your emotional cruelty. There is nothing that you can do to me that you haven't done already. You demolish for you a well-crafted pedestal, built on true love and solid principles. Though my affections, though to my affections you were resentful, to the very core I was loyal. Every gift given was thrown away. Your cake was best eaten your own way. My every good intention became a baseless accusation. Your eyes look down at me with regret, longing to be the one you forget. I may not be what your heart desires, but I know I have what your life requires. So go ahead, feed your hungry ego. Pride before crash. This I know. Let not your heart think of me when it hits the floor. I won't entertain your game of lies and tears no more. Somebody hurt me. Thank you. Somebody hurt me, so I
Uh,
really about it.
I like your cake have been eaten your way, something like that.
Your cake was best eaten your
Your
own way.
cake. Oh, I like that. I like that.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So I haven't performed in a while, and I would love for me to perform with different artists from St. Lucia and different other places. And a matter of fact, I'm putting it out there. Next month is National Poetry Month, and I would love for not sorry, in April is National Poetry Month, and I would love for at least some of us poets to come together and to do something, even if we cannot do it, in person, but we can do it online because there's so many of us. So many of us. And Lavon said something. She said, we can use the virtual stage, so which is a plus for us as well.
But you know what? I don't like to use the virtual space. This, I do this, but I don't like to do that. I rather be in person because we did something. I'm with a group. Uh, what do you call them? Black Poets Matters.
Mm-hmm.
All around the nation. And
Yes.
for around the COVID time,
Uh-huh.
2 years, we were on, on Zoom and doing all that. I mean, enjoyed it. No, I didn't really enjoy it, but it was a platform to do your work while you were.
Yes. Yes.
But I don't like it. For to tell you the truth, I don't like. I
Listen.
rather be in person and feel the love like that.
Yes, and it is in person to me is the best way. But I see. Oh, there's also benefits to having it online, because then you can have a wider audience of people from different countries, different people who cannot be where we are, so we can do that. But I'm looking forward for us to put something together where we can meet in person, because I love the camaraderie when we meet and we can jam and we can hug and we can talk about our experiences in person, and see each
Yeah.
other. Yes,
It's a totally different feeling, you know.
it is. It is.
Uh, it's a
It is.
totally different vibes.
Yes. Well, Yayah, it was such a pleasure being with you here on this platform. And like I said, I was saying before, hi Shaman Junkie, how are you? St. Lucia's Independence, I don't so it was was on
On
Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah.
On Wednesday, yes. So, and he did such an amazing speech. That was a beautiful piece. So if you all haven't, did you have it do you have it on YouTube?
Uh yes, I think it's on YouTube. I didn't put it there, but I think it's on YouTube. But I have, you know, it's probably there. It's probably there because I got so many people, giving me love on
Yes. Wow.
Vuki. So it's like it's somebody had to put it there, you know.
Man, you do so much amazing work. You gotta we gotta have a platform where we could go look for your work. Huh?
Yes, yes, I know, I know. I work.
Yes. So
I'm,
I like to push people to do stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna be calling you Yayah. When is the book coming? When we gonna have a YouTube channel? When we gonna do stuff? But thank you so much for being with us here on Parental Perspective with Placid. It was an amazing pleasure to listen to your poems, and you laid back, you easygoing, and then I love, the verbiage you use in your poems. You can literally, whatever you put out there, people can literally visualize what you're saying through your poems. And that's what we as poets supposed to do. We're supposed to make people see what we've been feeling, what we put out there, So thank you so much. For those of you who don't know too much about St. Lucia, I'm going to put our beautiful, some piece of our beautiful island. It's an amazing island, guys. If you all have not visited St. Lucia, you all got to go visit St. Lucia. St. Lucia is an amazing place. The food is amazing, the people are hospitable, and we are people person. Yeah, so thank you so much. Lavon said she really enjoyed the show tonight, pure talent. So thank you so much. We are here. I am here to put a spotlight on our people in general, our Black community, our people in general who have talent and who have something meaningful to promote, to give. I'm biting my tongue. Okay, but you all know what I want to say. So thank you so much for being here. Like I always say, and if you have any final words to tell anybody, to let the viewers know, then go ahead and say that. If you have any final words, Mr. Yayah.
Just support the arts,
Yes.
Support the arts, That is all I want to say, Everything else will come. When the book out, you're gonna know about it.
Mm-hmm.
When the CD out, you're gonna know about it. So, but go out there and support, and not just buying something. Sometimes when you have the event,
Mm-hmm.
come out and
Mm-hmm.
and meet the artist.
Yes.
You know.
It is important, And so when your book comes out, I'm gonna call you right back here on this show to talk about your book.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I've been one of my artists. I held him to it. I'm going like, as soon as your book comes out, I want to be the first person to have you on my show. Yes. So thank you so much. Listen, guys.
Yeah. Another thing.
Yes.
Don't forget to tell the St. Lucian community out there. What's his name? The guy you said it was the president of the St. Lucia
Association of Georgia.
Of Atlanta.
Yes.
You got to put things together in Atlanta and bring, we could switch.
Yes.
Bring
Yes,
up
we
Poet
need to
down,
do that.
go up, we go down,
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta, New York.
We should really form a committee where we'll be able to do that and through the diaspora.
Yeah, because I did something for them already. I did record something and send it to them,
Mm-hmm.
But they got to show love in return.
Exactly. All right. I'll see him tomorrow. So I'll tell him if he's
Yeah.
not watching, I'll tell him. Anyway, thank you so much, guys. Listen, this we have
Uh,
come to the end of our show. I always say, you know, like everybody knows, I advocate for. I don't know why I'm biting my tongue so much today, but anyway, I advocate for mental illness and for autism and other causes. And mental illness is a very big thing. People there's a stigma around it. People don't want to say when and if they're going through something. So we want to break the stigma. Mental health is very important. A lot of people are going through so much. So a lot of people are going through so much. So guys, if you know anybody who is suffering with mental illness, please reach out, help. We sometimes they just need somebody to talk to, and if they're at a point where they want to hurt themselves, I would urge you to call. If you're in America, I would like you to call this number 988. It's the suicide and mental health hotline, because we need people to be alive and not dead. Life is a precious gift, and we all have to really appreciate that, and thank God for that. So we need people to be well, so we render whatever help that you can. And if you're somebody who's suffering with mental illness, please reach out to somebody. It's okay not to be okay. It's okay to have a bad day, but when it gets to the point where you want to hurt yourself, then you have got to find some help. I always say you should never tap out in whatever you do. We are going to fail many times before we can succeed. But I always say, never ever let failure be your finality. Never. Risers and prosperity builders, rise to your own prosperity. This is Cindy Placid on Poetry and Perspective with Placid. Have an amazing rest of the night. Good night.